I just had a couple of things I want, well, actually three things I wanted to mention to you that I've run across. And I think probably maybe you've already been using them, but I finally I finally started using the Family Search Wiki. I don't know if anybody's used that.
Oh yeah, the Swedish one's fabulous.
Yeah, I know. And what I was trying to do, and I'll just run through this very quickly. I was trying to confirm that the man by the name of John Quincy Adams, not the president, a different one, who is my wife's ancestor, actually did die on a certain date in 1873 in Coshocton County, Ohio. And so I was trying to find, the only thing we have is a picture of his tombstone, his gravestone, okay, that says the date on it. So we were trying to, I know that he was alive in 1870 and he was dead in 1880. So I have 5 years. I have seen some documents that said that his estate was probated in 1875, but I'm still trying to find that out, double check. So anyway, what I did is I went to the wiki and, clicked on North America and then clicked on Ohio. And then when you go over to the right-hand side of the page, there's all these different, items that you can click on that you can search. And one of them is vital records. So then I went to the vital records and there was two groups. One was from Ohio in general, 1833 to 1967. He wasn't in there. Then the other one was 1840 to 2001, which gave me the death records for Coshocton County. And I always got to think about how to pronounce that. And there was only slightly under 1 million records, but that's okay, entries. And they did have an index, but he wasn't listed on the index. So I went through and I've been going through it. And I have gotten to 1873 in Coshocton County, and he isn't in there yet. So I don't know. I'm going to continue on until 1880 listings, because I know he was deceased in 1880. So, but it's very, very handy. And same way, I went back and looked at the probate records and did the same thing for probate records. And now that was a lot more. I haven't gone through that yet, but they have a listing for 1780 through 1996. That they only have images. No, this is in Family Search. And they only have images, no index. And so you just have to go through it, and to look at, which I've done before. I did it on all the listing of the evangelical Lutheran churches in this community in Prussia for my mother's parents. So anyway, I thought it was very good. I mean, I was very impressed. And Gretchen, I know you've been talking about how great it is, and I admit I have not used it until now, and I can see what you mean. It is very handy. It's much better than doing just a search, Yeah. If you have enough parameters that you know where you're going. Of course, it describes everything that's in there, so it's very handy. So I thought that was great. And another thing I just wanted, so I recommend to anybody that hasn't used it to give it a try. I had looked at.
Tom, I'm sorry I came on late. What was it? What site is that?
That is the Research Wiki on Family Search.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's very, very handy. I find it very something really that we need to use more of. At least I do. I don't know, maybe.
And if you use one of the country ones, like I use the Sweden one.
Yeah.
I mean, it has all of the parishes, and you can click on the parish. There's maps. there's all sorts of resources, history things. I just can't, I mean, it's just the most rich.
Yeah.
Is
of
that,
collection.
is that different than, I went to the card catalog
Yes,
at
Yes,
it's
Family
different.
Search. And
Yes.
then, well, in my case, I was looking Pennsylvania, church records, and then one I found that had stuff was the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. That had 13 volumes, of course, unindexed. I just was going through.
Yeah.
But is that the same as the Wiki?
No.
No.
The
Okay.
Wiki is like an encyclopedia, a collection of all kinds of resources. Somebody has put together with a great deal of thought the history of that area, the geography of the area, the politics of it, and so forth.
oh, there you go.
Yep, here we go.
There you go.
I typed in the keywords family search wiki and it popped right up.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you do, I would just say in my case,
Like
for what I'm doing,
Pennsylvania,
search by
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, scroll
Or
down on that drop down list and you'll get the
Okay.
United States.
Okay,
Okay, and then look for your state that you want to
Mhm.
go to. I
Yeah.
went to Ohio
Okay.
and
There's
that comes
Pennsylvania.
up. And then if you go over here to the right, if you see in the screen to the right and you scroll down on the page, you see all these different things. And
Sure.
I went to vital records, okay? And then look for death records, because that's what I was
Okay.
looking for.
okay, did
And
you narrow it down by your county?
yes, yes.
Okay.
One of, if you, let's see, okay, right up here. I went to let's see, which one did I go to? Oh, I went to the one 1840 to 2001. And if you click on that, okay, it comes up. And then I had to browse these
Yeah,
because I couldn't find anything in the index, okay?
Yeah.
So I browsed these records, and then when you click on that, it
Whoops.
comes, oh, you gotta
You have
sign
to
in
log in.
first.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta sign in, and then, which is free, and then,
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm recorded. Yeah.
yeah, then you sign in and it comes up with a listing of all the counties, and
Okay.
you click on it and you go from there.
Okay,
Okay.
because I thought by going through their card catalog, I was doing that, but there probably is more available by going to the actual wiki.
Well,
Okay.
just from the
Pinpoint
little bit I've
really
used it,
well.
it looks like with the wiki, it will tell you what gives you more detail in what to expect in those records,
Yeah.
and what records you're looking for than just the card catalog.
Yeah, and because my dates of the ones I'm looking for now are so old, they're, 18, it might be even 1780 to, I don't know, 18.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I know, it's hard, so it's a lot
Yeah.
of browsing. But, okay, that's good to know. I'll try that part
I
of it.
recommend that.
Yeah, I came in
Okay.
late too, so I missed that you mentioned Wiki.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is, and this is a free deal. It's a free deal. Doesn't cost you anything. It's put on by Family Search. It's called the Roots Tech, in this
Oh, yeah.
case, 2001. Okay. And it's a 3-day conference, which is next week. And well, in this case, it's in Salt Lake City, but it doesn't matter because it's virtual. And you just sign up for it, and then you can listen to, I don't know how many speakers they have, maybe 25 speakers, keynote speakers, and
No.
oh, what is happening? Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you. And so you can just do that one right there. I think that'll do it.
See, you
Yeah.
could register.
Yeah, keynote. Just go to keynote speakers for now. Okay.
Yeah.
And it brings, okay, all these different people. I really didn't see anything particularly that I wanted to see there of the keynote speakers, but the real key to this thing is, well, let's see, click on the video archive. Excuse me, no, click on menu. I think that's where it is. Well, over here in menu.
On the right, far
On the
right.
right. on that screen.
Yeah.
I think that's where you'll get, okay. Okay. Well, that didn't do it either. But anyway,
Mhm.
what
But-
you're looking for is a listing, and maybe you can, well, you can, a listing of all of the seminars.
Mhm.
Probably
And
under virtual event 2021, wouldn't you think?
These are all the old ones in a
yeah,
way.
and I think that, quite honestly, I think the way this works is you, and I registered for it. And then on Thursday or Wednesday, they're going to send you a link to the site. Okay. Because they've already got 200,000 people signed up. Okay. So they're going to send you a link to the site, but there is a link which you can access now, which is under www, of course, churchofjesuschrist.org. Okay. churchofjesuschrist.org, because it's, you know, it's the Church of Latter-day Saints. And it should list all the sessions that you can go to. And there are 18 pages of sessions that you can listen to. 32 per page, I counted, which is 576 sessions. And they pertain to, as far as I can tell, DNA, obviously, technology, all related, of course, to genealogy, LDS resources, which of course, that's if you want to, you know, do your genealogy to get into the whatever they do for their church. I'm not sure what it is. Heirlooms, genealogy, and census. These are the main topics that I could see. But to me, it's free. So you can pick and choose. I would imagine in the past, these have stuck around for at least, free access has stuck around for at least 30 days after the site. And maybe it's even more. Okay, maybe it's longer. But, you know,
And people love to go to this. It's
oh yeah, it's
one of
well
the best
received.
genealogy
Yeah.
conferences of the year.
And I'll
Yeah.
throw in contrast, the Wisconsin Historical Society, I was interested in a German ancestor class they're giving, which I actually went to one about 5 years ago. But that's $40 and it's
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, yeah.
You could really
Yeah,
spend a lot of
$40.
money
And
with those.
this is free. I mean, you want to spend $40 to listen to what's her name from the Max Cod or Max Cade?
Yeah.
What is her name? It always gives it. Dark-haired woman. Oh, what is her name?
I can't
Oh,
think
well,
of it
anyway,
either.
I can't remember her name. But I thought it was worthwhile. And all you have to do is you got to have your family search login, but that, you know, I mean, that's fine. The only other thing I would tell you is if you, and this isn't related to genealogy, but it is related to Europe history. If, you know, have you heard of the Viking cruise line that does all the cruises? Well, they have started a thing called vikingtv.com, okay, which is another freebie, and they have lectures on various things in Germany, like maybe about the rivers of the Tsars or the Danube history, or, you know, or I just listened to one this morning about the siege of Leningrad, about the art, about the food and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, and I gave you to me, the key word,
Free.
you know what the key word is?
Free.
Free.
Well, I'll throw another one out there. There's Deutsche Welle, the German broadcasting. They have a website that has a lot of documentaries also on German
Yeah.
history. If you're
Yeah.
interested.
What was the name of that one?
It's
What's that?
DW, I think it's DW.com. DW.com.
DW.com.
Yeah,
Okay. D is in dog, right?
yeah, Deutsche Welle.
Yeah,
Is
thank
that how
you.
you pronounce it? Any German speakers?
Whatever
here?
you say. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Well, can I throw out something that I find kind of fun? I found this article in the Advocate, 1884. And briefly, it says Albert Wise of Green Bay, who is well and favorably known to many of our people, gave the Advocate of that city what he pronounces as a certain cure for frostbites. He says if the feet or hands are frozen, fill a common water pail with wheat bran into which a couple of handfuls of salt have been thrown. We, add to the wheat bran hot water, making a sort of bran mash of it. It should be about as hot as a well hand can bear. Into this, insert frozen limb or limbs, and the frost will be entirely withdrawn without injury to the person. If the whole eggs are frozen, mix up the bran in a barrel, put into a proportionate amount of salt, and stand the person in it.
Oh,
Can you
wow.
imagine? Mr. W has seen this remedy applied many times in the old country, and it always had the desired effect. He's satisfied that Sam Olson, the unfortunate young man who had both feet frozen, and Ephraim, sometime last month, if he had been treated in this manner, not only his life would have been saved, but the limbs would not have suffered from injury. The remedy is very simple one, and as the ingredients are easily obtainable, we advise everyone to try the remedy in case of necessity. So I just want to say that's my great-great-grandfather,
Oh,
Albert Wise, mentioned in the Door County Advocate. So I get a big kick out of that, and I think everyone should use that remedy this time of year with the subsequent weather. So that's what I have to say. Does anyone want to have anything to add that you've been doing lately? If not, I have a box I'll show you. Go on.
Ask a question. My heritage that I do not belong to or subscribe to, they had a free weekend. But you do have to have an account, which is fine. But the way they phrase it is you can start an account, but that they indicate it as to, or lead you to think that you're setting yourself up for setting up a family tree, which I don't want to do. I just wanted to get in there and look at stuff. So anyway, I accepted it. I looked at some stuff, couldn't find it. Then I deleted the account. I mean, there's a lot of places that are free accounts, Family Search, other places, but I had the feeling they were kind of not really entrapping you, but they automatically set up a website page for you and your family tree. And I thought it was kind of misleading to me. I don't know, did anybody partake of that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I know they have good records, and I don't mind having an account, but I don't want them to, save whatever I'm looking at or set up a family tree for me. And maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know.
I have an account there because they let you upload your DNA for free.
me too.
And they are, I don't like the fact that they only let you subscribe for the full year, not by the month. And I have felt in the past that they try to lure you in like that, but I think they're getting better. I think you can, I have what I sort of have a alt account or an alt family tree where I only have very limited people from way back that I use for things like that. So it's not no one recent or any of that sort of thing. So you can just put a couple people in there. They actually limit you, I think, for a free account to 200.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use it for what it is. There are a lot of Europeans who have accounts with MyHeritage, a lot,
Right.
compared to Ancestry. So it has some real value. For a while, the library had, you could use a library subscription to MyHeritage, and then they switched back to Ancestry. So they canceled the MyHeritage account. So that's what I know about it.
I was just looking for searching. I don't want to do
Yeah.
the family tree bit or any of that, but I don't know. I know it's got some good European stuff on it, but it just, I don't know. I shouldn't really, maybe I'm overthinking it, but it could be a situation where you get your account, they lead you into setting up a family tree, but if I don't enter anything,
It doesn't
it'll
matter.
just sit there as an empty website with my name on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
There's quite a few genealogical websites, and I haven't checked this recently, but when I was teaching the class, I looked into it, and there was a lot of said you could have a free, a week free or something, a month free or whatever, but you had to give them your credit card when you signed in. So they had that. So you had to remember to cancel it if you didn't want to. I mean, that was free, but if then they had that information.
Yeah.
And you just had to decide if you wanted to join that particular one. But there's not as many competitors now as there was for a while. I think some of them have just not made it.
And I have the free account too, and I never paid them a penny. And luckily with the DNA, I signed up quite a long time ago, and they gave me all these tools that they then later took away unless you actually have an account, but they let me, I'm grandfathered in, so that's kind of nice. And they also have they're playing around with some really interesting tools like colorizing pictures, cleaning up pictures, things like that, which I've used and are really fun, a lot of fun. Although they do keep the pictures on their website. You can delete those things, but still.
They have a lot. They have a lot of information on there. I use Ancestry so much. I'm so familiar with it. It's so much easier to go into Ancestry first, rather than MyHeritage. And as you say, it's so many Europeans that you're not necessarily going to find, if you're looking for connections, you're not going to necessarily find it you'd find it more on Ancestry than you would on MyHeritage.
Except there's a gentleman or lady, actually, I think it's his mother who does it in the Czech Republic, who has my family on it.
Oh.
The trouble is, unless you pay for the account, you can't communicate with the people. But I did search, and I finally pinned him down on Facebook, and I sent him a message through Facebook, and he said, no, that's his mother who's putting all that up there. But I never got, he has all sorts of things that we wish we had records for. I don't know where she got the records, so it was incomplete, but you can play around with it. I think it's a fun site to play around with.
Did he give you any information whereby you could contact her, his mother?
Kind of, but I don't think she speaks English, and
well,
I sort of gave up, but it was fun to make contact.
At least there's someone else out there.
Yeah. And my dad, both his parents came from Bohemia, but in 1860s, so quite a while ago. So I'd love to know more about where she got her records.
The curiosity is going to get you.
Well, yeah, someday we'll probably contact him again. Who knows? Anyone else have anything interesting to bring up?
I have a question.
Sure. And everyone, this is Larry Destel, who wrote the book on the Civil War, the Confederate soldiers who were in the graveyard in Madison.
Oh, we used to live very close to there.
Oh,
He's doing a program for us very soon too. So keep an eye out. What time did we set for that, Larry?
I'm sorry.
What time did we set for your book talk?
I think 10 o'clock on the 24th.
Yes.
March.
So I hope some of you will join.
March? Oh,
Yeah, March.
Go on. I'm sorry I interrupted, but
Well, that's okay. My question is kind of related to that is sites for Civil War soldiers from Door County existing.
well, there's that monument over there that has the one people who died in the war, right? And then they have a booklet for them, where they try to gather the obituaries.
I'm particularly interested in a guy named Peter Nelson,
Peter Nelson.
who I think was from Egg Harbor. I'd have to look. I was trying to remember that. I haven't looked at it in a while.
What dates? What are the dates for
He
him?
was in the 19th Wisconsin. And that's what I'm interested in now, is the 19th Wisconsin.
Do you know when he was born or died or?
Is there a way to stay in here and also get to get to Word? Is there a way
Yeah, I
to?
think you can just keep this up. Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
Just keep the tab up and go to Word. You should be able to just come right back.
Okay, I see it. I didn't want to Let me see. He would be in here. Peter Nelson.
So is this for your next book that you're writing?
Yeah.
And that's on the 19th, Wisconsin 19th?
Right. I don't really see, that's the problem. I don't really have a lot on them from here. I don't have any like before the war stuff
Mhm.
because I couldn't find them in the census.
Did you find an obituary?
There might be one. Never mind. There might be one he was born in Norway at about 1848.
Well, I'll look up in the obituary index to see if I can find anything.
Okay.
That would
Okay.
be that
He might
first
have
place
been
I'd go.
physician in the 19th. Came to the country in 1857. But see, I'm trying to figure out, there were two Peter Nelsons, and I think one was black and the other was white.
Oh,
So I'm trying to figure out which one is which.
and you found them both on the censuses?
The one I found, the black Peter Nelson, I found through the library at the in Reedsburg. And
What-
then something because I got something from the census too, that he was in 1850. He was 13 years old. His name was Margaret. Both born in Virginia, and they were listed as being black in the 1850 census, which is pretty rare. But there's definitely a picture of a Peter Nelson, because he may have moved back to Reedsburg, which is where a lot of his company guys were from. And it definitely shows a person with mixed racial features. There's no question that. I just want to try to be as accurate as possible, is to make sure I'm referring to the right one when I write stuff about him. That's where I'm coming from.
Did you find
So-
anything on fold 3, Larry? The
I looked
military?
there, but it's basically the same stuff that I was finding, because a lot of that just comes from the roster of Wisconsin Volunteers.
Yeah. Well, don't
Which
they
is on
have some stuff from NARA?
From where?
NARA, the
NARA,
national-
yeah.
Yeah.
I looked there, but now every time I ask for information, they tell me I'm about 5,000th in line. So
Oh.
pandemic, it's like you just can't get stuff through them right now. They just
He
aren't.
wasn't a musician, was he?
He was.
Okay, well, you probably have already done this. I just went to the Peter A. Nelson.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I don't know if it says anything. It's in the ancestry under U.S. Civil War soldiers, 1861 to 1865. And
Right.
it gives you got that?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And it
But-
gives a film number. Okay,
okay.
which
That's probably.
see, where does it say
would
it
that
is?
be the pension record?
Okay.
Find a pension record for him.
And
You
you
went
say you went to the National Park Service?
No,
To
National
the,
Archives.
to the archives, National Archives.
Okay, well, it says original data came from the National Park Service, Civil War soldiers and sailors, and then it gives a website. Oh, I can't reach it for some reason. Well, that's, who knows why. But anyway. Yeah, he was in the 19th, Company B, 19th. Yeah, okay. Let me back up. There's more. Not this one.
And you
Same
think he's
one.
from
He's-
Egg Harbor?
No, he was a sergeant. There's another one that says he was a sergeant,
Right.
rank in, rank out.
Yeah, that's why I want to be accurate, because they took the guy who was the captain of Company A had photographs taken of everybody who was in that company, and they took a picture of Peter Nelson, and like I say, he had distinctive multiracial features. I mean, you can, but the other one was from Norway. And the reason I get confused is because one of them got captured. And basically the practice was that if they captured black soldiers in 1864, or 1864, this would have been, they would have killed them.
Oh,
And he survived. So that's why I'm not sure which one is which.
Did
The
you
one,
see that?
the one who I think is black, I don't think is the one who was captured, but there were two Peter Nelsons. That's the issue.
Did you look in that new book on black soldiers in the Civil War in Wisconsin?
Yeah, but see, the problem is I don't think these guys were actually from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
All these guys, there are about 8 or 9 guys who joined when the unit was in Virginia and in North Carolina. And a lot of them went on to be in U.S. colored troops, regiments. But they weren't from Wisconsin itself, which I think is what the book is it just deals with black soldiers who are actually from the state of Wisconsin, from what I read about it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right.
Keep looking, keep searching. That's the whole thing.
If I find any obituaries or anything in the local papers, I'll let you know, but that would be the Norwegian probably, right?
Right. I mean, I would, again, I've got some stuff on these guys, but you know, I know that he lived, let me just go back real quick. What? Let me see. Latitudes. I just gotta find where I'm at. Well, all of a sudden I can't find it. Right. One is, like I say, it's one who was born in Norway, lived until at least 1910, because he's in the 1910 census.
Okay, I found a Peter A. Nelson that was born in Norway in 1858. He got married in 1889. He arrived, oh, this won't work. It says he arrived 1880. That won't work.
No.
He was already here then.
Yeah, like I say, I got my guy says it was 1848, and he settled in Columbia County, but I think he ended up in Door County. Because I think I found one of those too. But again,
I'll tell you, we're also to look, you might look in the naturalization papers
okay.
for Wisconsin, and look for, I think, see, I'm trying to remember, I think they're by county. And it will, well, at least, or if they're not, they're by state. And then you can maybe find him, if it's by county, and that should give you some information
Those are
about him. Have you been able to do that?
I've seen those records, yes. I come across them from time to time.
The Door County naturalizations are at UWGB and the
But I will now.
center. And last time I looked, they had some of them indexed, but not Door County. But they may have done it by now. I don't know.
Yeah. But you can always browse.
Right.
It's just taking forever to browse it.
Right.
Laura, are those naturalizations for the whole state of Wisconsin? Because I've been looking for my great grandfather for years.
For the Wisconsin archives, basically they divided into regions.
Okay.
And of course, the headquarters is in Madison, but
Yeah.
for our local area, it's the regional center is UWGB.
Yeah, this would probably be in Eau Claire. There's one. in
So they
Eau
would
Claire.
have, if you look it up, they have a map that shows all of the different regional centers. And they can trade documents and things among those different centers.
Sure.
I have some links on the library genealogy page for the local one, the UWGB one. But I know I went there myself and looked through their files for naturalization papers. And they, right on their website, they do have where you can search by some counties, but Door County is not one of them in the search.
I have a
Did we-
suggestion.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm not with your group, but I'm nosy because I'm from Manitowoc, and with our genealogy society, we had a thing at the Leicester Library in Two Rivers but we haven't met. But anyway, with these naturalization records, they have them at familysearch.org. They have some, and I can bring up this screen. Let's see, share screen. Which one is it? Oh, is that it? Wait a minute, I have to look. I got too many windows open, I think. Here we go. Let's see. What does it say? Share. Okay. Did that bring up, does it say Wisconsin?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can search for people, but you can also browse the collection, which is really nice. If
Okay.
you go down. Yeah, I should make it bigger. Oh, I gotta sign in. Sign in. And then they have the different counties.
Okay.
And you can go to door. And this is the tricky part.
Yeah,
If you go to the Coffin Library Special Collections, their website where they have that digital thing, sometimes you can write down the information they have there and then come here and try and figure out where you're going. But it's actually, a lot of the stuff is digitized. So it's kind of nice. Just so.
Let's say, which census was it where they said how long they've been a citizen? There was one of the censuses. Was it 1900 or 1910? One of those. One of the fields you filled in was that how long you've been a citizen, and that would give you an idea of which one to go to
Right.
that field or that index or whatever it was, document that you had there, which one you should look at.
That's
That'd give you a
idea.
handle in that.
Yeah.
Because boy, if you could find the second papers, if they filled it out correctly, you'll get where he came from, where he was born, obviously how he got there, and so on and so on. So the second papers are a good piece of paper, good thing to find.
What is that called, Tom? Second?
Well, it's actually, see, there was 3 sets of papers, on naturalization. There was, I want to become a citizen. Second one is all my
Intention.
details. And then the third one is, hurrah, I am a citizen, it's basically, okay. And I think the second one is called petition for citizenship. And that listed, where they came from, what ship they came on, what port they came into, again, and the date, if they filled it out, all of it.
Okay,
And
so that's the 3 parts of the naturalization record. Huh?
Right, yes.
but not all of them are like that.
Not all of them are like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. The problem is my great grandfather's name was Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah.
are we related? My grandfather was Johnson also, Sue. Pennsylvania, though.
Oh. That's probably an English Johnson, not a Swedish Johnson.
It is. It's an English Johnson, and I have a Scottish Gray. So those 2 names are driving me absolutely nuts, of course.
Well, also, I can show you quickly the UWGB one I mentioned. It's here, the local archives for our area. And if you go down to the bottom here, you can search indexes. And I just put in Peter Nelson. I searched the citizenship records and put in Peter Nelson, and these are the ones that come up for our area. But as I say, they don't include Door County in this search here for some reason, but at least you can see some of these people.
A lot of Peter Nelsons.
And that doesn't quite look like Nelson there. But yeah, it's a pretty common name, isn't it? Which makes it harder.
Excuse me, Laura, that was just the website you'd go to would be just UWGB.
Yeah, but
And then-
no, it's not UWGB. It's the archives, the state archives, where
Oh.
they put the vital records and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But if you go to doorcountylibrary.org, genealogy page. I have something in
Oh, you
there.
have it listed? Okay,
It's somewhere in there if you look up UWGB.
okay.
So they put see that by law, certain records have to be put in the archives. Vital records, for example. And a lot of times people donate things to the wrong place, and technically they're supposed to go to the archives, the state archives. And if they don't want them, then they can pass it on. Probate records, that sort of thing, if they archive them. So that's what UWGB, it's on one floor at UWGB,
Okay.
but it's a
So
little.
and that's all Wisconsin only.
Yeah, and as I say, if you look at that, the archives website, you'll see where a map where they divide up different parts of the state and have their archives in different, usually universities.
Mm-hmm.
I know I went to the Milwaukee area once, and it's at the University of Milwaukee. So that's how they split it up. Anyone else have a question? Or Larry, does that sort of give you a little bit of help?
I got lots of paths to follow here now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
to come back.
naturalization is probably your best bet. If
Yeah.
you can't, you know, at
Yeah,
that point, if you can't find it in the military records.
well, anyone else have something to bring up?
Just a plug for Laura is the genealogy page on the library's website. I use that all the time.
Thank
There
you.
are so many links to things.
Too
So
many.
that's kind of a starting point for me anyway, to find stuff if it's anything to do with up here. And sometimes it gives hints for other parts of the country too. So it doesn't have to be just here.
Well, basically, if I need to help people, I have to remember where I went. So that's why I put so many in there, and it's almost too many, but I use them a lot. So I'm glad other
No,
people.
no, it's not too many. Keep adding.
Okay, great. Well, if no one else has anything to bring up, I'll mention something I wanted to tell you. In case you have any fun documents, I think it'd be really neat if you want to get them out there for the world to see. I'll tell you about how I did it. My sister and I did it. And we have this box, which I showed earlier, a firebox. Very old, with lots and lots of interesting papers in there, including my great-great-grandfather's intention to become a citizen, his German passport, his all sorts of things, all sorts of certificates for stock, which is pretty interesting. I've looked up online and they're not really worth much, but
Wow.
and deposit slips for the German American Bank and all sorts of hints about things. These interesting pictures, which I showed earlier. We're not sure who that was, but we identified the stamp as narrowing down the years and also the photographer.
Wow.
So we think that's who it is. Also, these wonderful letters written in German current,
Wow.
which modern Germans can't read, addressed to him in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we still have the letter, so it got through from 1849. So anyway, my sister and I decided to put them on a website called Recollection Wisconsin. And Recollection Wisconsin is actually, there's a main site where they do a lot of institutions it's a sort of a aggregator for various institutions around the state. But there's a area of that website that lets individuals like us put up documents. So you don't have to be part of the Milwaukee Public Library or the State Historical Society. And let me share this. The difference is the full website is called Recollection Wisconsin, spelled out, .org. This is for people like us to add things. So you see how it's recollectionwi.org. And this is, I did a workshop some years ago with right on Door County, and a lady they wrote memories, and the one lady agreed to put hers up. And this is the one she put up, her memories of Martin Park. And you can see she wrote the memoirs, and then she gave me these photographs. Those are her sisters. So as I say, anybody can put things up here, which is pretty neat, I think. And then I put up my sister and I put up these documents from that same great-great-grandfather. And here's the letter I just showed you. So we wrote up a little something about it and what we know about it. And then we actually have the scans of the documents.
That's great.
So if you have anything like this that you want to put up, you can go ahead. I can help you with it if you need help, but all you have to do is come to recollectionwi.org and you see where it says contribute an item. And it tells you exactly what to do, how to do it. They have audio files in here, they have pictures, they have memoirs, that sort of thing. Anything that has to do with Wisconsin history that you might want to share with everybody. And the neat thing about it is I thought only the main Recollection Wisconsin, which is the one with all of the institutions in the state, was going to be aggregated into the Digital Public Library of America, but it turns out all of the records are in there now. So my ancestor is Gottlieb Findeisen. And this includes places like Harvard, the Smithsonian, all of the big institutions feed into this Digital Public Library of America. So look at that. Isn't that neat?
Wow.
And also the one on Martin Park is in here. So I just thought I'd show you that. So if you have any interest in maybe participating, you can give it a try, or I can help you if you'd like.
I love the address on the envelope, and it got to the guy.
Yeah.
His
all
name
of them
and
are.
care of Henry Martin Fond du Lac. I mean,
And I have, this one here is care of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So how big was Milwaukee in 1849?
yeah.
And they knew where he lived. That's and that other the other really neat document. Well, here, I'll show you. Do you have things like this in your house? Or am I just lucky, very lucky?
Well, I think the quantity you have, Laura, is very fortunate. I have a few things.
Just one box, okay?
Well, I know, but you have a lot of items in that one box.
Yeah, this is pretty neat because this is, I was stunned to see this is on lined paper like we use today. You know, notebook paper that kids have in school.
Mm-hmm.
And what this is a document where apparently our ancestor borrowed money from William Reed, W-R-E-D-E, who was one of the founders of the Wisconsin Lutheran Synod in Milwaukee.
Oh.
And he went to Germany. And so they had to get a release from the mortgage. And so he got this paper. We have this paper from that box where Joseph Wright was like the ambassador over there, signed it or double signed it or whatever when Reed released our ancestor from the mortgage. So isn't that amazing? On lined paper like that and everything.
I can't believe how well you can read it.
Yeah.
I mean, that some of the stuff is, even though it's English, is, you know, chicken scratch.
Yeah. So it's really fun because of course every little detail is a clue, and that the ambassador was once, I think, the governor of Ohio when I started researching him. So it just is so much fun to do, look at all the clues in these documents. But if you have anything, I think that's a great place to put it, to share it with the world.
I have some grocery lists that my great grandfather's family from early 1900s in Rockford, Illinois, the actual grocery list that they made out of what and how much everything was.
I mean, where did you find that?
It's my dad saved it. I mean, it was saved for the family, saved it. I've got amazing things from that great grandfather. What to do with it is another question.
Yeah, they never threw it out, right?
They didn't throw it out, but now it's so historic.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the grocery list is the best thing, but if you have anything that would be interesting to, you know, show us more about the history of, well, that was Illinois, right?
It was Illinois, yeah. I don't know what Illinois is doing like this.
They must have something similar.
They must have something similar.
Yeah. So that's what I have to show and tell today.
Yeah.
Well, great. Great.
So anyone else, and that ancestor, by the way, Larry, did not fight in the Civil War. He fought in the Mexican-American War.
Ah,
Because we found him on the Fold 3 and various places. His wife applied for a pension. That's the only reason we really know. And
Did she want a pension for the Mexican-American War?
yeah.
Oh,
She
wow.
applied for it much after he had passed away, and she applied for it and got it.
Yeah, because my, I'd have to count back. Third great grandfather,
Mhm.
he was born in 1804 in England. Somehow got here. I haven't figured that out yet. But in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I know that their son was born in 1840 in Pennsylvania. I think in Philadelphia, that's where I found a baptismal record of him. But anyway, neither here nor there. But then if he was born in 1804, he signed up to go into the Mexican-American War. It had to be about 1846 that he
Correct.
was recruited. So he was older. However, near as we can tell, he died in the Battle of King's Mill.
In the
In-
war, during the war?
Yep, September of 1847. Supposedly a cannonball got him. Now that though, come to think of it, I haven't been able to find him listed on Fold 3 or anywhere, but I did find, I shouldn't say anywhere, and I can't tell you the path. It was some years ago, but there was a website that contained the Niles, Niles register. And it apparently is a series, and I'll look again. I think I saved it. But a newspaper correspondence, as in journalists, writings of the war and the battles. And that's their letters like General Worth and so on. Which that's where the most, which isn't much at all, but it's something, information that I found on him. So maybe for your ancestor, and I'll look at that, Laura, and see.
A
I'm
brand new book about the Mexican-American War.
Pardon me?
There's a brand new book out that has a lot of detail about the Mexican-American War.
Oh, wow.
That I think I ordered for the library.
Oh, good.
It's called
Here's-
The Dead March.
The Dead March?
Yeah, here I'll show you. It's very detailed.
Also,
It
I'm
came
on a
out this year.
I'm also on a Facebook group, Mexican-American War,
Yeah.
which they're somewhat helpful.
So do you see this book? Just came out and it has lots of detail.
Oh, good.
So for us, we know that our ancestor came in 1842. He filed for his intention to become a citizen in Michigan, right on the Great Lakes. He must have gone through the Great Lakes system.
Uh-huh.
And we have the intention. And he called himself Theophile Findeisen. So we thought he was a brother of Gottlieb. And then he went to the war, and then he filed his citizenship papers in Ohio. And then he ended up going to Milwaukee, and where we have these letters, and then Fond du Lac. So he changed his name to Gottlieb, we found out. When he came over, he probably thought the translation of Gottlieb was lover of God, Theophile, which is Latin, more of a Latin name.
Yeah.
It was a real puzzle for us, but we figured it out. So you never know if you have the right name.
I know. Well, and the only article on my George Johnson was I found in Chronicling America in I think it was November of 1847, where they had a little blip from the York County newspaper that said, Sergeant George Johnson, we received news, died, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And he leaves a widow and 3 children, which I'm pretty sure it's my guy because that perfectly fits
Mhm.
the family and whatnot. And that was about, well, there was one other article I found in one of the newspapers, but nothing, just, oh, gee, he was a great guy, loved by the community. Too bad he died. And that's about it. No detail that I'm looking for.
They didn't have a lot of details in the old days.
Well, yeah, they did. If
No.
you went to a party or something, they got your dress and your
Yeah.
shoe color and all this other nonsense.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's interesting that you had someone from Mexican. There aren't too many I found that, have here anyway, that have Mexican American War ancestors.
Yeah, and my guy didn't actually spend too long in the military, but that book I mentioned does trace some of the battles and where people went, and it turns
Yeah.
out a lot of immigrants fought in the war.
Yeah.
I think they were probably brought in as, maybe a path to citizenship. I don't know,
Yeah.
or a
And
way to earn money.
in my case too,
Mhm.
there was a second George W. Washington from Pennsylvania. So that complicated matters.
Yeah.
And a couple of my relatives think that our George Johnson, our George, was captured and died at Perote Castle in Mexico City. Well, no, he didn't, because they returned him back to service a couple of years later, or a year later, I guess. So that wasn't our guy. But it's hard to separate them. So Larry, I feel your pain.
It's okay.
And I think, Larry, you pretty much investigate
Thank you.
everybody in the, that you've studied, right? Like the Camp Randall soldiers, you really studied each person, didn't you?
Yeah, but those were more the Southerners. Those were from the first Alabama and what was called the first Consolidated. So it wasn't so much, that book is more on them than it is on, the one I'm writing now is more on the 19-2 of the Guards.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, as we mentioned earlier, it's just about 3 o'clock and I have to go serve my time on the desk. But Larry will be doing a book talk about his book, so I hope everyone can join us. It's posted on our library calendar at dorkcountylibrary.org. And it's the 24th, right?
Yes.
okay. Great. Thanks, Laura.
Oh, well, thank yous.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.